Hello fellow citizens, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Elfie, just a girly pop trying to explore everywhere in the verse. And today, I'm going to take you on an adventure with my friends and I to Pyro IV. We went there to check out a couple of the different outposts and all of the biomes that it has to offer, including its beautiful oceans. So, let's get into it. I started off the adventure at Stanton Gateway to meet up with a few friends, and one of them called up their 600i, which had the prettiest skin that I've seen for it. I was also relieved to know that they were willing to drive because your girl has crashed into these poles a few too many times trying to rush to the wormhole. It's almost like I should slow it down when I literally make videos about slowing it down in this game. But in any case, we had to make it to Gaslight Station to meet up with the rest of the group, and we had to get through the wormhole. As always, I like to film and watch my friends going through the wormhole to see how all of the different ships react to it, all the twists and turns, and how they drive. So without further ado, here's how it went. And that, my friends, is what we'll call a very smooth ride. I also noticed that when we entered this system, the coloring of the orange against the skin made it look almost green, and it was really cool. When we stopped at the station to call up my friend's Carrick, it wouldn't exactly let us out of the hangar. When we tried to open it, it was just a wall, every single time. But you could kind of poke your head through it and see outside, but it would just stop us halfway through. Definitely a weird bug. And so we ended up having to go back to the 600i, which I wasn't totally mad about. And rallying at Gaslight was quite the time. We had to wait for a bunch of people to get there, so it took some time, but we sat around discussing where we wanted to go and different places that people had been to already that they wanted to show the group. While waiting, I decided to show my friends the sound of a C-nut, but he said it might sound different if I get lower to the ground. I don't know though, it sounded the same to me. But I couldn't really tell with all of my friends chomping down at the same time. I grabbed some extra ones for the road, but we had to wait for someone to call in their nicer ship, so we all headed off to the bar.
I really don't.
What can I get you?
You're a shitty-ass bartender.
And he was indeed a shitty-ass bartender. We can't actually order any drinks in Bar Citizen. All we wanted to do was roleplay the local alcoholics after a long day of hauling. But soon enough, everyone was ready to go. And so we headed back to the 600i, ready to go explore Pyro IV. The music flying into Pyro IV was definitely not my favorite. Comparing to other planets like Bloom, this music sounded like it belonged at a funeral home. But the planet was definitely different from some others and had a lot more color to it. You could distinctly tell the ocean from the land, and there was a lot more ocean than I was expecting. And flying around the planet in Quantum was also gorgeous. As we got closer, we were starting to see the sun reflecting off of the clouds in the atmosphere, which was a really cool sight. But it got even better when we flew below the clouds, because you could see the sun also reflecting off of the ocean as well as the movement, which was just a really nice detail flying into here. And with the timing of it all, we were going to see an extravagant star set once again. And for as much as I yap, I don't have anything for this landing shot. It was just gorgeous. And even though we were probably a little late, we all simultaneously decided to jog up to the top of the hill to see the remainder of the star set. Even though it was already set when we finally climbed up there, it was really nice to see the red reflection off of the water along with all of the ship lights. And what's also cool is seeing everyone come into the frame and realizing how big these exploration groups are becoming, and all of the friends that I'm meeting along the way. And I don't think I say it enough, but thank you all for being here, sticking around, and exploring the verse with me. It's definitely nice to know that there's other people out there who are totally fine with just watching the waves and the other planets and just relaxing. The next place we stopped at was another beach, but we couldn't actually stop at the outpost because they were shooting our friends. It was okay because we were able to park nearby, and we actually made it this time for the star rise, which is pretty cool because I haven't seen one so far. And once again, we were running to it. And hiking and jogging is definitely becoming one of my favorite things in these exploration trips. I keep saying it, but I have to do a little bit more of it. Just as the sun started to peek over the little hill in front of me, it was absolutely gorgeous and brought more light to all of the different textures around me. I had to stop and just take a minute to look around. And the reflections of the light with the different angles was also another cool detail to see. The next place we headed to was our first outpost, Sacren Plot, but this was at least close enough to Chawla's beach that we were able to fly there manually. And so we were able to see a little bit more of the landscape, brush up against some of the water, and just enjoy the view. The only issue? It was definitely hostile towards some of our ships, so we had to find a safe place to park before we could go check it out. There was something about walking from the ship into this outpost that just felt really pretty and just peaceful. I really like all of the outposts that are kind of hidden in these rocks or valleys. It gives a different contrast to all of the other outposts on the planets of Pyro. And from what I can tell, there's not a really big difference in the living conditions between the different groups or gangs on Pyro, but it was still pretty cool to check it out. And even if it isn't the aesthetic that a lot of people would typically like, they're still getting hot meals in their kitchen, and it was pretty lively here because there were a few NPCs walking around. And I think something that could really make this game interesting and add to the lore or the story would be if you could interact with these people when you go to these outposts. Like in this other building, just hear me out. You could walk up to these cards and there would be someone sitting there and you could actually bet money to play with them. It would make the game feel more immersive, and then I feel like you could probably see a few more people exploring out here. I eventually stumbled on a shop outside with a few guns, some shoes, and some other tools, but I couldn't find a kiosk until one of my friends had called out that they found a shopping terminal inside the building. And we all know what time it is. I bought both of these jackets, some kind of vest, multiple pairs of shoes, and a couple pairs of pants. I definitely love the pants a lot more in Pyro than I do in Stanton. I took all my clothes in storage and put them in my backpack, and then I was wandering around outside to explore more until my friend asked me if I actually checked out all of the pages on the terminal. I've never ran faster in my life except maybe to the fridge to get back to that terminal and figure out what they meant by pages. Apparently at the bottom of the screen, 1 out of 3 meant 1 out of 3 pages. So I ended up buying a few more things. This collar and shale, more pairs of pants, a shirt with 1 sleeve, and a core armor with a cape. I was all shopped out for the day, so I headed up to the top of the building and I watched everyone wander around, finishing up their own exploration, and then we were off to the next location. The next stop was Fallow Fields, and this outpost had a very cool rock formation around it, but there really wasn't as much to explore within the outposts itself. There weren't as many buildings, and there was a big bonfire in the center like we've seen at other outposts. There was a shopping terminal, but it didn't have nearly as much stuff, and I also didn't have any room to buy anything anyway. By the time I got outside, it was starting to get a little dark, and a lot of us were all shopped out for the day, so we decided to hop in the ship and sit at the top of the arches to watch the scenery around us. It was very cool to watch the clouds or the fog or whatever this was rolling in, while waiting for our other friend to find a cave mine, because most of the group hadn't seen one before. So while we were waiting, we decided to go check out some of the oceans. And right now, this is my time to stop talking and just let you enjoy the ride with me. And that was the ride of a lifetime in this game. I am so excited to come back here and just explore more of just the nature, never mind the outposts or the shopping. We found a nice quiet spot with a rock to climb up on and just watched the stars set. If you want to join in on explorations like this, be sure to check out the Discord in the description down below. And if you like new player Star Citizen content and seeing the verse through a new set of eyes, be sure to like and subscribe to support the channel. I post new videos twice a week, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, Elfie out.